Out the roots, he let the beats build, bitch, and we never switch. Even if I'm rich, I'll be broke like I'm Mitch. Niggas talking down, but that's headed in the wrong direction. But I knock that shit out like the boxing section, cause they can't touch what they can't see. All I gotta do is be the same me. All I gotta do is keep it G, always be the same me. While I'm solid, boy, they can't change me, no.
We live from the boxing section, you dusty ass niggas.
What's going on, man? We live from the boxing section, man. What's going on? Listen, I got my dog with me, man. You know what I'm saying? A true friend of the program, you know what I'm saying? His gym is probably one of the most popular gyms in Philadelphia. You know what I'm saying? Home of Greg Hackett, boxing. We've had Jerron Ennis, we've had Cool Boy Steph, we had J-Rod, Redman. Everybody's been to this gym. We're talking about one of the most genuine people I know in the boxing game. Best trainer, best nutritionist. It goes without saying, but we're gonna say it anyway. A hell of a guy, my guy. Rob, what's up with the big?
What's up, bro? What's going on? How you feeling, bro?
You got backdrops now?
No, I'm just outside.
Okay,
Nah.
I'm gonna sound on sitting
No, I'm just outside, bro. I'm outside. I'm enjoying the
What's
weather.
up, man? What's going on with you? It's been a minute since we last got down on the interview thing.
Yeah, yes, sir. Thank you, man. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Oh man, it's always good having you, bro. You know that.
Mm-hmm.
You know that. So there's 2 fights within the last 2 weekends. I know Larry Wade is your guy.
Yeah,
he's our guy. How did you feel about Robeisy Ramirez's performance?
Say again?
How did you feel about Robeisy's Ramirez performance this weekend? Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
All right, cool. I got like 2 different sets of headphones that I gotta like go back and forth from.
No, cool.
How'd you feel about Robeisy Ramirez's performance this weekend?
I think it was a great performance. I think he did. You know, I like how he. I like BC was very. You know what I mean? Like he catch shots. You know, he get hit with some nice stuff and then come right back and try to get it back. But he did it with being patient. You know.
Yeah.
He took. Can you hear me? Yo, bro. What's happening? Yo.
Yeah. You can hear me? Man, my shit is tripping, man. Yeah. I got some bad fucking service.
Is it a connection? Is it me?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm trying to wait for the chat to tell me. Let me know if y'all can hear me and see me in the chat. L Dub, what's going on? Mad Dog H, what's going on? Combo, Coop, what's up with it? Can you hear me now? We good? Let me check you. Let me check YouTube real quick. Can y'all hear me? Am I good? Am I good out there? Let me know if y'all can hear me. Hold on. Let's see. Yeah, okay. I think that was Rob's shit going in and out. That might have been Rob's going in and out. All right, let me know if y'all can hear me, man. Let me know if y'all can hear me and things like that. So we're gonna talk. Let me do some fill-ins, some little filibustering right now. Look, the link is in the chat. Combo, the Coop. The link is in the chat, man. This is open dialogue. We chopping it up. Rob been on here plenty of times. So we just jumping into some shit, talking, chilling, things like that. But I want to go over this weekend, man. Anthony Joshua. I know we're gonna go over it like the one after show, but I want to talk about it today, right now, just a little bit, just to tell Rob can come back on. Yeah. So yeah, Robeisy Ramirez. That was probably the best fight card of the day. Great fights on there, beautiful fights, bro. It was great. It was great, bro. You talking about like just flat out, front to back, amazing. Okay, we back. We got my boy Rob back. Hopefully he back. This Philly weather don't. Hopefully his Philly connection helps us out.
That's what we doing. That's what we doing. We just gonna throw shots out here. Yeah. What's up?
You know. Nah, we good. So Robeisy Ramirez, him and Dogby had a great fight, man.
Yeah, it was.
I enjoyed it,
it was
man.
A good back and forth action.
Yeah, I don't like the scorecards though.
How'd you have it?
I had it closer than that. Mm-hmm. I had Robeisy winning, but I didn't have him just in a blowout. Mm-hmm. I thought Dogby needed those last 2 rounds to win, and he didn't get them. So I probably say he lost like, I think he lost like the last 2, kind of lost in the fight. But I think it was really close though. I don't think it was like they said like one. They said like one night. They said like one was like 108. One night. You know what I'm saying? He did. Yeah. He won some rounds. They had him not winning nothing really. On a couple of scorecards, it was like just shut out.
Yeah, but you know what though? What folks gotta understand though is like when they see the judges, you know what I mean. A lot of people don't look at the small details of certain judges. So it's like if like Steve Farhood, you know, if you look at his recent scorecards compared to anybody else's at what times of the fights that it happened, you'll see the type of fight he likes to watch. You know what I'm saying? Like how he scores it or something like that. You get to see how different refs score different fights depending on the type of fights that they get called for. So that's
Yeah.
something to really consider. I mean, that's the beauty part of the boxing is like not everybody's gonna see eye to eye unless if it was like that far of a landslide. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But
Right.
I thought the fight was a great fight. I thought that Robeisy did enough to show his dominance. And you know, congrats to the whole team for that. You know what I mean? It was a great
Yeah.
fight, man. You know what I mean?
No lie. Barry Hunter is probably one of the best motivators I've ever seen in my life. Dude,
Mhm.
I thought I could beat Robeisy that day because I'm like, dude,
Yeah.
you know how many people could have used the Barry Hunter in that corner?
Yeah, but you know what though too? It's he's doing what a coach is supposed to do. You gotta somehow wake the dog up and be like, listen, man, like this is what it is. What you gonna show me? You know, remember that clip? It's a famous clip with Teddy Atlas and Tim Bradley when he was like, "You're a fireman. You're a fireman." Remember that? Like that will hype anybody up, man. You know what I mean? Even in football, like look how Dawkins was in the locker room. I mean, I know you're not a Birds fan, but I'm just saying.
No. Listen. Listen. The Eagles is my second team. Two of my best friends, they love the fucking Eagles, and then all of y'all niggas love the Eagles. So it's like I'm an Eagles fan just off of all the people I know that's Eagles fans. Even though y'all whooped our ass this year, you know. Even though y'all whooped our ass, you know what I'm saying. You know, I wasn't really mad. I would have been more mad if we lost to the Cowboys than losing to y'all.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, I fucking hate the Cowboys. I fucking hate the Cowboys with all my might. Overall, how'd you feel about the card overall?
I think
big boy?
the fight was great.
Okay, go eat some bacon.
I think the card was great overall.
Man, listen, I got Jahai Tucker coming back into the spot today. I got him coming back into the section today. Bro, how did you feel about his performance? I thought he had a fucking great performance, bro.
Who's that?
Jahai Tucker.
Oh, bruh. Listen.
Now, hey,
I thought he was gonna go in the first round.
Hey, before we go on though, Madison Square Garden last year, I told you.
Oh yeah, we was all sitting
together. Kid,
right?
I said this kid is a bad motherfucker. He's like, man, I don't know, man. I ain't seen it. I said, listen to me. This kid right here is a bad motherfucker. Mm-hmm. So go ahead.
No. You got to give credit when credit due. At the time, you know, you really don't know much about these guys, especially, you know, that young. You know, unless you're going out all the time and just knowing so in tune with the nationals and guys up and coming, the young breds and stuff like that. Like, you know, but he showed a lot. Like, I think what happened in that fight was when he got hurt that first round. And you really thought he was gonna go. You thought he was gone. You know what I mean? And he kept that composure and then dominated for the rest of the card. It kind of showed where his heart is at, his character. He basically took everything out of it's hard to pronounce those guys' last names, but
we got you. You know who he's talking about.
He took a lot out of him. And mind you, I know Javier. Like, I know his coach. That's the same coach Xander Zayas has. And his coach he's solid. But I really believe that Jahai Tucker showed a lot of character in that fight. And I think that kid's future is very bright.
Yeah, I think him sparring with Boots prepared him for that.
I wasn't there because they, you know, I really didn't know anything about it.
Yeah, no, it's all good. Yeah, but they sparred though. I think that helped him out a lot because that motherfucker, he took that fight from that nigga. Like, he took that shit, bro. Like,
he's strong, man. Them Texas stands, Russia stands, all kind of stands. Like they man, they're strong. They're very strong and very determined, man.
And he walked him down. Like he just started walking him down. And like the referee was terrible. The referee was awful, bro. Because it's like I'm gonna tell you why, right? He would let the scan guy, whatever. Well, I don't know where. I can't pronounce this stuff. But he was letting him hit after the bell. He let him hit him after the breaks. All that stuff, right? And then when Jahad Tucker does it, he takes a point away. And I'm like,
Jahad still, regardless, when they say break and the referee intervenes, Jahad was the last one to throw the punches.
Yeah. I got you.
Listen, he didn't just throw.
He threw two. He threw a combo.
He threw a combination in there. You know what I'm saying? So I think, you know, but that's one of those. That's one of those situations where he's gonna live and learn from this. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't change his character. He's a fighter. That's what he's gonna do. If you hit him after the bell, he's gonna keep hitting you. Let's not talk about.
I liked it though, because it just shows you like
the Anthony Joshua thing.
No, it wasn't all like that.
In the back of the head, and then that whole thing turned into one big chaos.
Yeah. The thing I like about Jahad Tucker is he let him know, like, you're not gonna be able to just do what you want to do.
Yeah, you're not gonna be able to do what you want to do.
Right.
Yeah, no, I agree with that all the way. I think his performance was fantastic.
You got a question right here.
Isaiah
said, ask Rob what difference the conditioning in boxing from other sports.
That's a good question. The difference between boxing and any other sport. Boxing is a very high intense sport, and you have to be conditioned in other ways because in reality, your life depends on it. So you're fighting in the ring and you have to be conditioned to a certain degree where you're prepared for war, so to speak. The difference is that in boxing, you can very easily overtrain with too much conditioning. Where in football, basketball, baseball, or anything else, it's part of the regimen to do it every day. So it's a little different. Where in boxing, you know, you gotta make sure that you don't overtrain because a fighter always using their legs. They're always running. They're always, you know, doing their conditioning. And most times with fighters, depending on the high caliber of what they are, some of them still work regular jobs. So you have to take that in consideration too, with them to come in and then they're like, you know, I worked overtime today and they got to make their money. So they got to put that on. And then boxing kind of supersedes over top of the strength and conditioning because they're spending more time with the boxing coach than it does with the strength coach. The strength coach technically has a different, depending on the strength coach, has a different regimen to add to the camp that would benefit the fighter and the entire camp, not just having a type of a strength coach who can just point out at things for you to do, but not necessarily have a complete breakdown of everything. So it is a major difference between both sports. Now, boxing is possibly the hardest sport in the world. Reason is you're getting punched in the face. Your mental state got to be tough, and you know you can have permanent disfigurement with the body. Broken nose, chipped tooth, broken jaw, broken collarbone, cuts, you know, things like that. So you got to be well prepared all the way around. And with other sports, you know, you can have longer rest periods. Do a lot of strength training, but in your rest periods, you know what I'm saying? So with strength training being 3 every 4 minutes, you can do a lot more than that. Basketball, you could do a lot more things, but the difference of everything else is that every sport has its own unique way of providing their conditioning for that specific sport, and it just varies. You know what I'm saying? It's different ways of conditioning, but it's definitely a major difference.
I feel like if you in boxing fighter shape, you're in better shape than any other sport.
Yeah, I mean you are, because at the end of the day, you're prepared to defend yourself for a life-threatening thing. You understand what I'm saying? But
right.
You said that you're a hooper, so for your basketball, yours would be more hand and eye coordination, speed, a lot of agility training. You know what I mean? So that's what more or less you will be working on. But at the same token, a lot of basketball players suffer a lot of knee injuries with their knees, their MCL, LCL, ACL, all different types of stuff. And you got to be cautious of that. So really, those agilities and those specific type of injuries don't really happen much in boxing, but it happens a lot in basketball. So you gotta make sure you got the right team behind you. You know what I mean? Not just somebody that kind of is familiar with certain things, but isn't a teacher, so to speak, if you know what I'm saying.
Right. Somebody wants to know: are there any specific boxers you would like to do strength and conditioning for?
As far as like active, somebody that's active now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would like to work. I would like to work with Dev. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you breaking up a little bit though. You breaking up just a little bit.
Okay. All right, hold up. Yeah, I would like to work with Dev. I would like to work with. I would like to work with like females. Amanda Serrano. I would like to work with Xander. I would like to work with Felicia Baumgartner. It's a lot of guys, man.
Yeah.
It all depends. You know what? The reality, I work with anybody if the money right.
For sure. Bruce Gas, what's going on with you, man? Salute to you for coming through. Coop, I'm not asking none of your questions. You can hit that link and join. Nigga, you can hit the link and join. I'm not answering none of your questions, dude. Hey, question.
Yeah.
It seems like Caleb Plant, he always runs out of gas, right? Do you think he has too much muscle mass, or what do you think that is?
No, it could be a series of things, bro. You know what I mean? Like I don't quite know what happens in camp. I don't know what the chemistry and the connections are between coaches and strength coaches and anything like that, but that can play a factor. The responsibility one has over another. It could be so many things. It could be the jitters. It could be him being nervous. He could have not had good sleep the night before. It could be a lot of things. But with fundamentals, I would say that if Caleb can do less unnecessary movements, then I think he can gain that much energy. And it also could be that he doesn't quite mastered how to consume his energy in between the shots and while he's on defense. So if you're on defense and you're catching punches, you got to know how to breathe in between those shots. Then when you're delivering it back, you got to know how to breathe in between those shots. Then when there's no action going on in the ring and you're actually thinking about your next setup, then you got to think in between those shots. So it could be a series of things, man. I don't think it has anything to do with his muscle. I don't think anything has to do with whatever goes on in the camp. You know what I mean? I just feel as though it could be an operator issue rather than the people who are operating it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm saying it because I'm saying that because like when you see Larry Wade fighters, they go. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Like you think
Yeah.
about Sean Porter or BC, like they just like they going. You know what I'm saying? They don't get tired. So that's kind of why I was asking. I'm like, man, why do
Yeah,
you
but
think?
at the end of the day, too, I plan Tony Brady in his camp.
Man, you broke up for a little bit.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
I think he worked with Tony Brady.
I seen Coach Wade in his corner, so that's why.
Yeah, I seen him in the corner too. Again, like I don't know what goes on
Yeah,
in the camp, and I speak often. You know, we leave business where it is. You know what I'm saying? And we just
right,
talk about general things like, you know, he checks on my family, I check on his. He checks on my progress, I check on his, and then back and forth like that.
right. Yeah, no, I got you. So you got a new gym
Yeah, I
that
don't have it.
that you've
I'm
been working at.
collaborating with somebody, with a
Yeah.
good friend of mine. His name is Swift.
Okay.
You know, he gave me a great opportunity. So, you know, I'm making my priority to show up.
Cool. I mean, I see you there a lot,
Mhm.
and I see you doing a lot of good things there. How did that come about?
So I've known Swift for years. Actually, we met when we were barbers, and he's always been into the fitness world. He's always been like in shape, and his sport was always been football, and that's how he got into it. You know what I mean? So when he went and got his training, did what he had to do, started his own thing, and in 2021, I was supposed to go over there, and I was gonna use the facility to condition a lot of my guys there, but it was some things that were going on where I couldn't make that happen. So then later down the line, Swift started getting a lot of requests for boxing. So they're like, you know, you should bring a boxing coach in, or you should do a boxing gym, or you should get a ring, or whatever the case is. So an opportunity came for him, and I was one of the first people he called. So I went over there, I spoke to him, had a great meeting. He brought me in like if I was like if we were literally blood family. You know what I mean? And we collaborated. You know, I really enjoy it there, and they have everything I can possibly imagine that I need to get any fighter in shape for any fight. It wouldn't matter what it is. You know what I mean? So I brought my equipment over, and I have that stored. So right now it's just, you know what I mean, just building that name up just as much as the name of Philly boxing got brought up. You know what I mean?
For sure. I mean, yeah, you did. I mean, you did a hell of a job with Philly, man.
But
That's
the thing with Philly, bro, is that it was a team effort. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not one to say that's my gym, that's my gym, that's my gym. Like, I don't really talk like that. And anybody who really knows me, I don't use that type of shit. You know how many times people go in there and they say, "Yeah, this Greg gym, right?" I'll be like, "Yeah," and they ask me, I'll be like, "Yeah, he right there." You know what I'm saying? When people used to come in, there was a sign that said Bosie's Dungeon on it. You know what I'm saying? I put that sign up. I don't care. You understand what I'm saying? So when it comes to like a team effort, I like the name, the value of being a team effort. It should be not one superseding another. Everybody should be there helping each other out. You know what I mean? There shouldn't be any downplaying or degrading in any way, shape, or form, because at the end of the day, we're all under the same home. But you still got to protect each other. You know what I'm saying? So with Boots coming over and the team and everything else, that helped the name get to where it was, especially with a lot of the Showtime exposure and everything else. You know what I mean? Then you had Scooter come in and do a couple of his things. You had Milton Santiago, rest his soul, where he was doing a documentary there. I had my documentary filmed there. And then
Josh, we did his documentary there.
Who?
Josh.
Josh did his documentary there. Yep. And then you had Stat come in. So, it was a very great blessing to have a team that everyone used as a platform and as a home, and then they turned into who they became. You know what I mean? So I'm always grateful for that. You know what I'm saying? But you will never catch me outside of the gym and I'm talking to you many times outside of these cameras, and you never heard me say, "Oh, it's my gym." I just don't. I don't even feel comfortable saying it that way, regardless of who the paperwork is. You know what I'm saying? But it's more of a team effort, and hopefully everybody can continue that even after things, whatever the direction things go in.
Now I got something for you, right? Now this picture was taken like 3 years ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
Can you see it?
No. What picture? I just see me and you.
It's a picture, but you got some bad connections, man. You're gonna have to
hold your... Oh yeah. I see it.
You got to hold your arms up and then turn to the left, man.
Man, that's bullshit.
But so this was pandemic right here. This was in the middle of the pandemic, man.
Yeah.
None of us had masks on.
Yeah. That's a good picture.
Man, and dude, we've been locked in ever since, man. And that was 3 years ago, dude. Time is like just flying, man.
Right.
So, how did you feel about the Caleb Plant Benavidez fight?
I got a lot of shit for it. I did an interview recently, and I said that Canelo will smoke Benavidez, and even coaches felt some type of way to try to throw shots at me on Facebook. You know what I'm saying? But I still stand by it. He will smoke the shit out of him. Benavidez has, if you look at the skill for skill next to each other, kind of like how you would do, like how when you play Madden or any other game, and it has the qualities of each team on the side. If you go person for person, Canelo supersedes in every single thing. You know what I'm saying? Besides height and range, that's it. He's too slow. His footwork is too robotic from him to have that ability to really keep up with Canelo. And Canelo already shown that he can close gaps. You know what I'm saying? But with Caleb Plant, what I would have had liked for Caleb to do more was touch Caleb Plant's body more and then either shift or pivot off the left and the right. You know what I mean? Like work the body in the inside, because if you really think about it, Benavidez's best shot in the inside is the uppercut. But if you keep your head on each shot of the shoulder, then he can't really throw the uppercut like he wants to. He can't really sit down on that shot and throw it up. He throw a lot of arm punches. You know what I'm saying? So if Caleb could have had just not spent a lot of time in an inside, but threw his combinations and kept Benavidez from turning, then not only would have had saved a lot of energy, but I think also too he would have had a more successful result and then work in the inside. But I think that once Caleb, because I had Caleb winning the first 5 rounds, and then his conditioning just went to shit. So once he got tired, Benavidez felt that fatigue power and was like, oh, I could take this shit. And then just started walking him down. But in reality, too, I think Kenny Bayless could have did a better job with warning both sides by warning Benavidez about the rabbit punches and the shots to the illegal shots, and Caleb Plant for holding. If that would have got done, then it would have been easier. I also believe that Caleb Plant, they should have stopped that fight. I think Braeman should have threw the towel in, or it should have got stopped. A lot of people say that they are glad that they get stopped, but that's for entertainment purposes. I'm thinking about Caleb's health at this point. He took some hits, man, and there was nothing left to prove, bro. Like, you would need a knockout to win.
Yeah, I think that's why. Yeah, that's why they didn't want to stop it though, because I guess it was the satisfaction of him lasting the whole fight.
Yeah, and it was great. Don't get me wrong. You could never question Caleb's heart, but you could never question it even back then. Even when he fought Canelo, you still couldn't question that man's heart. He went in there with possibly one of the best Mexican fighters ever. Then he went in there and he wanted to fight with Benavidez. So you got to give him respect just out of that alone.
Yeah.
But let's keep it real. Like, your health does come first, bro. And I think the fight should have been stopped. That's just my opinion. And overall, I think that the strategy could have been a little bit more dominant if he would have worked the inside more and kept Benavidez from turning. Well, kept turning him. Because Caleb Plant got the feet. He got the foot, and he got the boxing ability to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I don't think he should have fought a taller guy like that in the outside.
Yeah. We had a referee on, right? And so he was telling us the reason why Kenny Bayless didn't warn Caleb Plant for holding was because when he told him to break, he broke. So they were saying so when you grabbing somebody, it's the clinch, right? And then when the referee break it up, it's no longer a clinch, then it becomes holding. So that's why they didn't warn him from holding, because every time Kenny Bayless said let him go, he would let him go. So that's why they didn't get him holding. But I thought Benavidez did a lot of.
If that's the case, then it's a fine line between holding and strategy. Because, Bernard used to do that shit all the time.
Yeah.
But there was no warnings. You mean to tell me that for 12 rounds, all of that stuff was clean?
I'm just saying. I'm saying. Yeah. I'm saying.
You know what I'm saying? So it's a thin line. Yeah. It's a very, very thin line to compare the two.
Yeah. I'm saying, but so the thing was though, most of the time when he said break, Caleb Plant would break.
Yeah. Right. But also too, but that's what I'm saying. So he should have warned at least Benavidez for hitting in the back of the head too.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like there's no punchline to that shit. Like, you purposely hit this motherfucker in the back of the head while I don't know. I just think a job could have been done a little bit better. I know Benavidez beat three top guys in that class, and that's my head's off to him. But to think that he even stand a chance against Canelo, that's absurd. You know what I'm saying? Like, why? Because Canelo lost to Bivol, a more technically sound overall fighter. So you mean to tell me, if that's the case, that Benavidez could beat Bivol? No, man. You know what I'm saying? Is if you look at the basic cues of a fighter when they're performing, a lot of the things is repetitive. Footwork is repetitive. Combinations is repetitive. Leaning in too much of a shot is repetitive. Not moving your head off the line is repetitive. You got somebody who can do that all the time to someone that does it every so often. You got to go with the guy that does it all the time.
So what you think about David Morrell?
I like David Morrell. I didn't know he was that. He's a big fucking dude, man. I met him for the first time in when Scooter fought in Minnesota. Bro, that's a big dude, man. I'm talking about not just in height, like he's just like his shoulders long. Like you can tell his arm span is crazy. I like David Morrell a lot. I would like to see him more active.
Who would you like to see him fight?
Anybody that's top notch right now.
Who would you want to see him fight? I mean, he's a champion, so he got to fight the top guys now. He can't fight no more pity pats. Who do you think? Who would you? I want to see him and Caleb Plant, or him and Demetrius Andrade, David Morrell.
Demetrius Andrade is a good shot. I don't know about Caleb. I think Caleb should, right now take a nice little break. I don't want to see him and Benavidez just yet. I tell you what, though, I think him and Berlanga will be decent. That'd be decent because Berlanga got something to prove, and that's a good name to have on your resume for Morrell. So
I don't think he's ready for that though.
Who that?
I don't think Berlanga ready for that. Though. I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't
Yeah,
think
but
he's
you
ready
know
for
what
that.
though? Who says what, man? Like his time is coming. You know what I mean? He just signed a 2-fight deal with the Zone, so it's either you going for a cash out or what. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think Berlanga needs to really focus on a lot of boxing attributes before jumping into anything. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I don't think he should have left.
If we're talking like next fight, then yeah, I'm gonna go with him for sure.
Yeah, I don't think.
What weight does Spike Sullivan fight at? Was it 60?
I don't even know who that is.
The dude Islandi Lara beat with the mustache. He looked like Soda Popinski in Punch Out.
That's got to be 160.
All right.
But I think Berlanga should have stayed with Andre Rozier. I think he should have listened a little bit more. I think he should have stopped trying to be a rapper and focus more on boxing. You know what I'm saying? What up, Steph?
Yeah, the funny thing is too, man. 160 for Spike. All right, cool. I mean, if he's willing to move up, that'd be a good name. It's funny too because we had a funny debate at the gym one time, and we were saying how some fighters, if you're a fighter, there's no way that you can dedicate so much time to other things if you are fully dedicated into boxing. So if you're going to rap, there's no way that it's rare that you're good at both.
Unless you're Roy Jones.
One got to be dedicated more than the other. You know what I'm saying? Like right. Roy was a good fighter, but I don't think nobody bought his album. You know what I'm saying? So right. I don't know.
Hey, he had 2 of the hottest singles though.
Huh?
Hey, he had 2 great singles though.
Yeah, y'all must have forgot, huh?
KB move, KB rock, KB stop. Yeah. He had some joints though. Hey, he had some joints.
So did Deion Sanders, bro.
Hey, that y'all must have forgot was my shit. I ain't gonna lie, man. That was my shit, bro. And you know, every time you see a Roy Jones highlight reel, you're gonna hear that KB move, KB rock, KB
yeah.
Yeah, every time.
That is catchy as shit though.
Yeah, motherfucker, that shit was catchy. Yeah. The nigga played basketball.
That's good for that's a nice little sample.
That nigga played a basketball game, right? And whooped the nigga ass the same night. I mean, Roy Jones is fucking crazy.
No, but that's again, he's multi-talented in different sports. It's not like he went and dropped a platinum album and then went to the ring and then dogged somebody. That's not what happened. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Let's keep it a bean here. I mean, what are we talking about?
What fighter made you fall in love with boxing? What was that fighter?
As a fan?
Yeah, like that you said, oh shit, I'm watching this shit again.
Pernell Whitaker.
What was the moment?
He fought. I believe it was the fight before he fought Chavez. I think it was the fight right before he fought Chavez. It was either before he fought Chavez, because he was still undefeated, and Chavez had that headbutt loss to what was his name? Frankie Randall?
I gotta look it up.
Yeah, you gotta look it up. But I know it was in the early 90s. I think it was like 90, 91, 92.
Let me look it up. Let me see what's cracking.
It was his first loss, and it came from a headbutt, and the shot came from a headbutt, but then, you know.
Let's see. Yeah, mine was Roy Jones.
Roy Jones and who?
I forgot to do bald-headed dude, man. So he had his hands behind his back, and he hit him with the hook. Bang! Put him to sleep. I said, I'm watching.
Montel Griffin?
Yeah, I said, no, not that one. It was, I forgot. I'm gonna look it up. We're gonna get everybody boxed up right now.
Because the Montel Griffiths when he got DQ'd.
Yeah, that was a bullshit DQ too.
I don't know. He did wait for the ref, and he did hit him while he was down.
That was John Jones. Who was shooting? Chavez was 87-0 when they fought.
Virgil Hill.
You heard me? He was 87-0 when they fought.
Huh?
He was 87-0 when they fought. This motherfucker got 107 wins, 6 losses, 2 draws. God damn.
Who, Chavez?
Bruh, who the fuck fights that much, bro?
Yeah, that's because it's Mexico, man. It's Mexico.
Who
was his first loss, though? Can you look? I think it was Frankie Brandel.
Yeah, Frankie Brandel was his first loss.
Yeah, so it was before that. What year was that?
This shit, man. That was 94 when he lost to him.
All right, so yeah, it was before that. So I started watching boxing somewhere around 92.
Okay. And I'm gonna tell you the truth, brother. He lost to Pernell Whitaker. And my dad lost $5,000 on that fight.
Say it again.
My dad lost $5,000 on that fight. Because he bet on Pernell Whitaker and it was a draw. So he lost out on $5,000.
Yeah. Pernell, I love Pernell, bro. He was flashy as shit. I loved him. I also love Camacho too. He was one of my favorites also.
Yeah, man. I'm
a fan of Southpaws.
Yeah,
the amateur
man.
I got, he's a Southpaw.
My girl, she always say soft flex. I'm a heavy flexor, dog. She always be like, just soft flex. Don't be so flashy. No, I'm heavy on the flex, dog. Heavy. Big heavy. We got OG Sheldon Moore. Listen, his nigga is old as dirt. You know what I'm saying? He was at the first professional boxing fight when it was just bare knuckles. What's going on, OG?
What up, man? What's happening? Who we got today, man?
Man, we got one of the top strength and conditioning coaches and trainers in boxing, my boy Rob.
How you doing, sir?
What's going on, bro?
Yeah,
all right. Who you currently working with, big dog?
He got a young fighter. He got one of the best young fighters
I don't work with Boots anymore, but I used to work with Jerron Boots Ennis.
No, I was talking about your amateur. That's what I was talking about, your amateur.
Oh, what my youngin?
Yeah,
I like him.
Okay.
We're heading out to Vegas for the title tournament in May, so I'll be out there from May 7th to May.
Amateurs?
I only got one.
Okay. You heading out there for amateurs though, the amateur tournament, correct?
Yep.
Okay. Will you be around in May for the Haney fight, or will you be gone by then?
No, I'll be there the week before. So I'll be there May 7th to the 15th.
Okay. Are you gonna hang? You go come back for the fight? You hanging around, or you gonna get up out of there?
I'm not sure. I'll see when I go over there.
Okay. So tell me about working with Boots, man. What's your biggest impression of the kid?
I'll tell you what. One of the best highlights I've ever had about Boots that made me feel like this kid he's the one.
Okay.
It was during COVID.
Uh-huh.
And everything was shut down. And people they got sick at the gym.
Right.
Boots had to be very cautious on who he was around. So I ended up testing with a false positive. And just to play it safe, I didn't go up to the gym. So Boots was like, yo, we still got to do the conditioning. So I was like, well, how we going to do this? The kid FaceTimes me and he goes, all right, time for my strength and conditioning session. And I guided him the whole time over the phone. So he was doing his stuff while I was on the opposite side and made sure that all his exercises was on point. So we will always communicate with it. But if it was anybody else, to be honest, at the dedication level that he's at, you know, they would have been like, damn, you can't be here. All right, well, what you want me to do? And I don't know if you're going to do it. You understand what I'm saying? But with him, there was no other way. It was a determination. Like, I'm going to get this done. I'm going to show you I'm going to get it done. And we're going to do it together. So when he called me on FaceTime, that was the moment. And when he got it done, I was like, wow, like this guy is special for sure. So that's
Next level dedication. I got you.
Don't get me wrong. I was always sold on his abilities because, you know, I know his dad, I know his family, his oldest brother. I used to love watching when I was younger. But that was the moment where I was like, ain't nobody beating this kid.
Okay. I get it. Now, do you speak with him on a regular basis?
No, not really. We both got a lot going on. Like, he does his own things, and
Okay.
he's working on his promotional company and stuff like that. And I'm over here
Right.
handling some priorities with family. So, you know, we don't. He did wish me a happy birthday yesterday, so that was cool. And
Okay.
but that he knows I'm only a phone call away.
All right. It's a question in the chat. I want to ask you, will you go to the Pollo Rolly fight on May 13th while in Vegas?
You know, what's funny is that I've spoken to a couple people part of Rolly's camp, and I did show an interest. See, now my kid Nelson, he likes Rolly. He's a fan of Rolly. So I'm trying to see if I can get, you know, Rolly to for Nelson to meet Rolly. So that'll be a nice experience. Plus, go to the fight and to enjoy ourselves and stuff, and we could go from there.
Well, check it out. My homeboy is best friends with Rolly, so
Okay.
I'll hit him up and see if we can set it up.
Yeah, I mean, he loves Rolly, man. So I want to take Nelson to Vegas and give him a great experience. The kid is really talented, and in the next years to come, as his name is going to be floating around also.
What is going to be his weight class?
He's actually 95 pounds right now, but he's like the Fundora of 95 pounds. He's really, really tall. Like, I'm 5'5", right? I mean, I know that's not tall, but let's argue that. So he's probably like 5'8", and he's 95 pounds.
And how old is he?
14.
Oh, yeah. You talking about maybe he'll probably top out about 68, you think? 60, 68, something like that?
And he's punching. He's punching. Like, for him being that small, people wouldn't think that he could punch. The kid could punch. He knows his range, and he's very accurate with that left hand. So, you know, I'm happy about it.
That's a good thing, Coach. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Man, I bought
So we had
Hey, hold on real quick.
we had some.
OG Show.
Go ahead. Go.
I just bought some banana pudding the other day, right?
Huh?
I said I bought some banana pudding the other day. Shit cost me $8.
$8.
Some of the worst banana pudding I've ever eaten. I just had it right now.
Yeah.
Shit is.
Where'd you buy it from? Where'd you buy it from?
I'm not gonna tell you where I got it from because I
don't. What city was it in?
It was in San Leandro.
San Leandro.
Oh my God.
San Leandro. That's why it's garbage.
This shit.
You better eat that shit. That shit was $8.
Nah, man, fuck that.
San Leandro. That's why it's garbage.
Listen, that shit was $8. You better eat that.
Yeah, that shit's fucking terrible.
You ain't got nobody from the South in San Leandro, bro. That's why it's trash.
Nah, man, you do, nigga. We ain't did that ain't it, man. That wasn't it. What was you gonna ask him though, OG Sheldon?
I was gonna ask him, did he get a chance to watch the fights this weekend, like the Joshua fight, any of those fights?
Yeah, I saw the Joshua fight. We were just.
I wanted to know. My question was, what was your impression? What was your impression on the conditioning and the shape of Joshua coming in at 255?
Joshua's conditioning is always shitty, but I think him and Derek James, that's a good match. I think that's a real good match between the two. Because it's the style. And I like what Derek James was telling them in the corner. Like, you know, right off the defense, let that shit go. You know what I mean? But Joshua's problem is that he doesn't trust his conditioning to really let combinations go. He'll let combinations go early, but then in the later rounds, he throws single shots with hoping his power can do enough to wobble a person. So I don't know. I never liked this conditioning, but I do believe that his fundamentals and the way he performed would do well with somebody, you know, with Derrick James for sure.
That's what I was telling Kyle. I don't believe, in my opinion, Joshua's not built for a 12-round fight. I think he needs to impose his size and just try to get dudes out of there as early as possible. Just walk them down.
But then you suffer the significance of someone taking you into deep waters. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We saw what happened with Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson was a fighter. And he went in there and got gassed at 5-6 rounds, and it was over for him. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
right.
I just think that Anthony Joshua need to really focus on his conditioning, and his weight has a lot to do with it. And you can tell that once the fight was over and they asked the question about the weight, he kind of avoided the question and went to the fans.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. I still believe, though, he shouldn't be trying to go 12 with anybody. He should be trying to get them dudes out of there quick because he knows he should know by now that his gas tank is suspect. So just go in there and try to get him out of there. Either I'm gonna knock you out or you're gonna knock me out. That got to be his. That should be his game plan.
For you to do that, you got to set up your combinations, and you got to set up certain shots to even get somebody out of there that early. You know what I'm saying? Especially at heavyweight, and you got to understand just punches. Let's be honest. Like, he has been touched in his chin a couple times where we're like, I don't know.
Yeah, well, you gotta. I mean, you remember? I know you old enough. You remember Evander Holyfield, right?
Yeah.
He just happened to have a monster chin, but that was his strategy. I'm just going in here and fight. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna try to box, but as soon as I get touched, I'm gonna start fighting.
Now look what he did to Mike. I watched that fight live.
Right.
I saw that first one and the second one, but he had the best strategy to beat Mike: punching, holding.
Yeah. Punching, frustrating, holding.
Everybody that fought and beat Mike was not scared of Mike. If you wasn't scared of Mike, you had a good shot because the guys that beat him wasn't scared of him.
Exactly.
This is also cocaine Mike. This is also jail Mike.
Chill. No, come on. If he catch you saying that shit and y'all out in LA, listen, bro.
I'm assuming, but you know what I'm saying?
the thing with Mike, for me, the thing with Mike was Mike wasn't. I mean, anybody that was really into boxing and knew boxing already knew Mike wasn't built for a 12-round fight. Like Foreman wasn't built for a 12-round fight. The early Foreman. You take him in the deep waters, you got action.
I think Customato, if Customato didn't die, I think he would have kept him focused. I think he'd have still been that animal.
Mike just lost focus because he needed a mentor in his career. You know what I mean? It's very hard for a kid growing up in the projects in Brownsville and everything else, and next thing you know, you're getting flooded with a whole bunch of money. You never seen that shit before, even at your young age. So now you're just spending and not giving a fuck what goes on, and you don't have an actual mentor to sit there and say, yo, dude, stop being a dick. Focus this on this, and let's go on this and this and that, and then go from there. But that wasn't the case. You know what I mean? I think that Mike at the time when Customato died, his only way of coping with it was try to keep it out of sight, out of mind. And that was a lot of his downfall.
Yeah, I mean, you got to ask yourself a question. Think what you would have done. Think what I would have done.
Yeah.
If I'm 20 years old and you give me $300 million, what the fuck you think I'm going to do?
Yeah, that's why a lot of these fighters and these rappers, they do all this shit now. You get them one large lump sum. But that's why the industry targets kids that come from low poverty areas, bro. All the best fighters come from low poverty areas. The best athletes come from low poverty areas. You understand what I'm saying? It's like
of course you ain't gonna see no kid with options going into boxing. If you got options, why would you go into a profession
most
that makes you take punches in the face for a living? You ain't gonna do that if you got options.
I'm 5'5". If I was 6'1", I still wouldn't go to boxing. I'd probably do some other shit. You know what I'm saying? I'll play baseball or some shit, but it definitely wouldn't be boxing. It's a very lonely sport, man. Hardest sport I've ever came across, but for some odd reason, I love the sport too much.
Viva la Mexico!
What's up, player? What's up, guys? What's up, OG? What's up, coach?
What's up, bro?
What's the move? I got your notification, Kyle. I had to hop on. You know what I'm saying? Ask your question, man.
You got it an hour late, my boy.
Hey, man, it was a long night. I'm still recovering from Future.
Hey, look, man, you should have came to Hell of Fame that night, man. It was crazy.
Nah. Go ahead and ask your question, man. But the two biggest questions I always ask, so we gonna go with the first one, man. As a coach, how do you know when to stop the fight?
You know you asked this already, right? But go ahead.
I did about stopping the fight.
You asked me these questions before because you've been on when he's been on before. He's been on like 2 times.
Did we talk about Jake Paul though?
Yeah, we did. We talked about all those things, bro.
Well, then never mind. Put that shit on Steph. I want to ask you one more, Coach. Did you watch the Plant Benavidez fight?
I'm sorry. Coach? Say it one more time.
Did you watch the Plant Benavidez fight?
Yeah, I did.
What did you think of Plant's conditioning?
There was a problem. There was a problem there. But like I said before, it all depends on what was done in the camp. It all depends on numerous things for Caleb to gas in the amounts that in the type of rounds that he was in. So for Caleb, there is a such thing. My first coach, Vaughn, I remember a while ago, him and I was having a conversation, and he was saying there is a such thing as unnecessary movement. So it's like you can box and move around the ring and do everything you got to do, and that's fine. But unnecessary movement, you're basically moving for no fucking reason. But if you're going to do that, you must not be breathing at the same time. Then when you catch certain shots, like if you're sitting there and you catch boom, boom, and you catch certain shots, but you're holding your breath the whole time, by the time you deliver shots back, it's not going to be there. So you got to know how to breathe when you catch certain shots. You got to know how to absorb certain shots. You got to touch him, bop, and then touch him again. Just because he fights with a mouth open or he gets that grasp of air, that don't mean he's gassing. It just means that, you know, he's learning how to breathe. And I think that's something that Caleb can maybe find that's a better tool in his arsenal. Learn how to do that.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I saw the same thing, Coach. I was there. I went to the fight, and that was my whole issue. Why are you moving unnecessarily? You just dancing. You're not throwing no punches. You're not doing nothing. You're just moving. And that's going to tire you out eventually because this dude going to keep walking you down. And once he catch up to you, you're going to let his hands go.
But, Coach, I got a question, actually, piggybanking off that. I'm Bass. Nice to meet you.
I can't hear anything. It sounds like you want to.
Listen, I think that's yours, Rob. You got to hold your arms up and go to the side. Hold your computer up and then turn to the side like this. You got to just turn back and forth.
Yo, how you doing? I'm Rob. You must be the asshole.
Coach, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Go ahead. What's up, champ?
Thank you for doing this, man. I want to piggyback off that question. My concern in that Plant Benavidez fight wasn't really too much of his conditioning. I think after a few big fights, you kind of know what a guy's going to bring to as far as his gas tank going to go. But what concerned me mostly was his adjustments in that fight. Once Benavidez realized that he didn't want him coming in, or he figured out his tactics, he's like, all right, he's going to hit me and try not to get hit and hold me. So he used his high guard to break from that and then keep the shorter man's stature in front of him. That's why everyone kept kind of commenting on his elbows and whatnot, but he's just talking about Benavidez. He's just long. My question is, I mean, what's up with that? Why didn't his corner address that or look at that and say, hey, man, this guy's figuring you out. You need to, if you're going to still use that tactic, punch and move out of the way. But I guess the fatigue sets in, or what's up with that? Oh, man, coach, you're struggling.
Hold up. Hold up. All right. So you're saying as far as Benavidez, right?
Plant mostly, yes. The fight, though, yes.
So you're saying
I heard all
who you're curious to wonder who didn't make the adjustments.
No. I'm asking what's up with that because everyone's kind of making a big deal out of his gas tank, Caleb.
Yeah.
My curiosity lies within that.
You talking about the adjustments Caleb couldn't do?
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly.
Well,
yes.
I mean that's something to to definitely to bring to the surface here, because in reality, in my opinion, if you were to ask me anything, I don't think Caleb Plant can fight in the inside. I don't think he's always been the boxer. And throughout his whole years, he's always been the boxer. Be the boxer, do what boxers do, and hit and don't get hit, and go out there and do what you're supposed to do. So when somebody brings pressure to him and fights him in the inside, it's almost to say his immediate defense mechanism is to hit and then step back and then go back to that jab and try to set up shots. So for somebody like Canelo, he could have did better fighting Canelo on the outside because he was the more skillful boxer. So he could have outboxed Canelo. But then when it was in the inside, he would do too much of the shoulder roll, but he was improperly doing the shoulder roll. So when you do the shoulder roll, that's not something you continuously try out, and then you try it out on a guy like Canelo. You understand what I'm saying? So I wouldn't have done that. I would have had Caleb box and try to, because he had Canelo frustrated. He had him frustrated. He had it. All he had to do was maintain exactly what he was doing. With Benavidez, like I was just telling Kyle. So with Benavidez, it's a little bit different because his best shot, Benavidez in the inside, will be his uppercut. You understand what I'm saying? So it would be like coming up the middle. So if Benavidez got the inside combinations taken away from him by fighting in the inside, by keeping your head on each side of the shoulder. So when you standing, the only time to get hit when you're dead center with an uppercut is if you're standing square or you're in the center. So if you keep your head aligned with one hand up on the opposite shoulder and keep touching the other shoulder, but keep working the free hand, you're working the inside exactly the way you're supposed to do. So with Benavidez, his only shot was to go up the middle. If he would have took that uppercut away from him, threw his shots in the middle, and then pivot off to the left or right, I think it would have been a more successful shot for Caleb.
Right. Also, too, Coach, I think it was like anywhere between the 7th and 9th rounds, probably the 8th or 9th, Caleb took a right cross to the face and he never recovered. Like his output went down from that punch, and it just, after that punch, he was just kind of lollygaggly everywhere. Every time he got hit, he was flying everywhere. So I was like, oh, man. And then a few more questions for you, Coach. I don't know if you saw my comments about AJ down there, but his performance to me, it wasn't good, it wasn't bad, it was just mediocre to me. I saw what Coach James was trying to do, right? He was trying to basically tell him, he's like, follow up on your punches, man. If you're going to do that, make sure you follow it with something. To me, I've always said this from the get-go, he can't create his own shot. That's why he's with Coach James.
You don't know how to set up combinations.
Well, to me, that's, you can't create your own shot, man. So you went to the guy who can help you open up your punch zone. Right. It was a little dumb, I thought, to come in that heavy, and now you still want to.
I don't know. Again, I don't know what's going on with that. I think that was a very poor decision to do that. Coming in heavier is always a good thing. You know what I mean? Because you could be off rhythm, you could be feeling lethargic depending on how much you rehydrate to that weight. Then also with Derek James, like I think it's a good fit, even though it wasn't the greatest performance by AJ. But I think stylistically, it's a good mesh between the two. Now, as I said before, it's not an operating issue. It's an operator issue when it comes to AJ. If he don't know how to set up his shots and he don't know what to throw, kind of like he's like very limited on what choices he can throw from a certain range, then that's something on him. He's gotta get creative when he shadow box. You understand what I'm saying?
And really seen him though do it. It's very mechanical, slow, and no swag.
Now, I learned this when I first started coaching. You're gonna fight however you're gonna fight the way you train. You know, and that's something that stuck with me for so long. So you train like shit and you shadow box like shit, you will fight like shit. Like there's nothing else to talk about because when you develop shadow boxing over and over and over, what you're doing is creating muscle memory. You jab, boom, you slip, slip. Jab, boom, slip, slip. But if I don't go jab, slip, slip, roll, and anything else like that, then I'm actually going to perform jab, slip, slip, and there goes a timing shot. You know what I mean? So with him not creating those options, I think it's going to be bad for him. But in all reality, man, with the heavyweight division being where it is, I think his time is coming to an end, and he better cash out now and just call it a day. Because in reality,
I agree.
He's not gonna beat Deontay Wilder with the slow pace and the fact that he can get hit so easily. He's not gonna beat Usyk. That's done. He's not gonna beat AJ. I mean the Tyson Fury. So that's
done. That crackhead will muff him up, dude, for sure.
You know, I would try to cash out now. You know what I mean? For a good opportunity, it would be like Jared Anderson would be a good guy for him to get a name under his belt and then AJ retire after that or whatever the case is. You know what I'm saying?
I'm a little more harsh, Coach. I think he's just mid. He's always been mid.
No, I agree with that. I agree with that. There's nothing spectacular about it.
And like here's and the kicker is, or the elephant in the room is that now everybody knows it. Beforehand, 3 and 4 or 5 years ago, we were like, half of us was with Wilder and the other half was with him. Now everybody knows it. Everybody knows it. He's not that good, man. And then last question, I had another question for you. It's kind of premature. You probably already answered it. How did you become a trainer, and what still keeps you going today?
So I've been boxing since I was 15, and I turned 40 yesterday. So
happy late birthday.
Thank you, man. Thank you. So
yes, sir.
I've been doing this for a while. When I was younger, it was hard for me to get to certain gyms. So I would gym hop a lot to try to find the right gym. And life came about, and I had to mature a lot faster and become a man faster because of my daughter and my youngest sister that I was raising. So instead of taking it so serious as I wish I would have, I was kind of like doing it here and there. And then I ran into my coach, Vaughn. And Vaughn really changed my mindset of the way I started boxing. That's when I started creating angles, creating combinations, you know, that nice little Cuban style. But then I got into a car accident and I messed up my hands. I messed up my neck and my back and everything else. Thank you. I messed up my back and everything else. And, you know, that was it after that. So then I went into this depression mode. And I called Vaughn and I said, Vaughn, I'm going to start doing conditioning. You know, I want to learn about it. You know, would you ever give me a shot? He said, yeah, whenever I learned it. So, all right, cool. You know, sometimes when the motherfuckers say that, all right, yeah, just come through when you're ready. But it's not happening yet. So there was this one guy I used to work with, his name at Bally Total Fitness. His name was Will. I don't remember Will's last name, but I wish I could run into that man one more time. He was the one that opened my eyes and showed me how to think outside the box. And the day that he showed me a lot of stuff, I never saw him again. He used to be a trainer there. I never saw him again. So I took the knowledge that he gave me for those few weeks. I started doing homework, started doing research. I started applying everything to myself first. Then I went back to Vaughn and I was like, Vaughn, I'm ready. He's like, yeah, all right, there goes your first client. And my first client was the name of Mike Jones at the time. So, so I worked with Mike for a really long time. And then he basically stamped my work. And then that's when I started working with everybody else. My first world title fight wasn't until 2009, I believe, when a local fighter around here, Lawan Simon, fought Arthur Abraham in Germany. That was my first title fight.
Beautiful.
And he didn't win, but he wasn't tired. So I kind of won and lost at the same time. You know what I'm saying? So then I was always ahead of my time. And then
yes,
a lot of guys that do conditioning now, they learned a lot from me. And I was grateful enough to, have that opportunity with different fighters. And it kept thriving me on today, man.
Okay. Again, happy birthday, sir. God be with you. That's what's up, man. That's what's up. Or whom are you working with right now currently?
I took a break as of last year after I went to Vegas and I was networking out there.
Right.
I'm going to make it a second home for me.
There's a lot of fighters out there, man. There's a lot of fighters out there.
I've developed enough resources where I'm going to make it a second home. So I'll be going out there a lot. And as long as my kid Nelson can come with me and we can get some work in, I'm all for that. But I took a break. And then right after the Jermaine Ortiz, I was supposed to work with him for Lomachenko.
Okay.
And it didn't quite work out. He
needed you too. We
couldn't come to terms with certain things. And
he's out in Vegas though, right? I know he's out in Vegas, right?
Who? Jermaine?
Yeah.
No, Jermaine is in Boston. Is in Massachusetts.
Okay. I know.
So
he should have listen. I met him I met him a few times, and good dude. But I stand on that. He should have went with you. I told my homeboy when I was watching the fight that he should have went with you because he would have won that fight. He would have had the endurance.
He has a very unique way of his camp, and he still did well. I still think he did really well. But what the factor is who was in better shape in the later rounds.
That's what I'm saying.
You know what I'm saying? But, once I came back from working with Jermaine, I had a family issue I had to address because the situation got a lot more worse than it was back in 2020. And when the conditioning of my family member got really bad, I took a break from it. So right now, I just got back into conditioning. So now I start camp soon with one of my favorite guys, John Carlos Rivera. He'll be on soon, and I'm in talks with some other fighters as well.
Okay, and then the last question for you, Rob, and again, appreciate you. And there's a ton of boxers, man. But is there anyone, doesn't matter who, flaws and all, sticking out to you that you really like, support boxer-wise?
Say it one more time, champ. I'm sorry.
I was saying that. Was there anyone in the boxing game right now? I know there's a ton of guys, but is there anyone who catches your eye, flaws and all?
I ain't gonna lie. I would love to work with Haney. I would love to work with Haney. Not.
He's in Vegas.
Yeah.
Bill Haney's very.
When I went out there and I introduced myself to Haney and Bill, I had a nice conversation with Bill for like a half hour, and
yes,
I showed him my work and everything, and he was really intrigued at the time. But I would like to work with Haney I don't want him to try to lose the weight like he did for Kambosos. He still performed at his best, you know.
Curious. Did you mention that to him?
Well, at the time, no. This is before he fought Kambosos.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But you know, it's I think I would definitely like to work with Haney.
Since that's your job, your trade. Just say just before that moment, were you already kind of look at him like that, like, oh man, this is what I would do differently with your weight control?
I always do that. I do that in every camp. Like I look at people training. I try to get a hold of Berlanga people and try to get involved in Berlanga's camp.
Difficult. He's a very difficult person.
Yeah, but you know what though? It's all about the chemistry, man. I just don't. I'm not gonna be controlled, and I'm not gonna be a yes guy. You know what I mean? If I don't feel as though the sex size work for you, I'm not gonna do it. You know what I mean? I will only get involved in things if it's beneficial for the fighter. You know what I mean? I don't care about anything else. I care about the health of the fighter. So there's things that I can bring to the table. I would love to do it, but in reality, when people see me, they see a strength coach. They don't know how much knowledge I have in the boxing aspect of it. So when I start breaking things down in the boxing portion of it, you know, not only does people say, oh shit, you know, he doesn't know his boxing stuff, but at the end of the day, a lot of coaches take it as a threat. If I tell their fighter something and it fucking works, and your coach tried to tell you something and it didn't work, or it kind of worked, but what I just told you worked, they're going to start looking at it different. Like, yo, listen, from here on out, I'll call the boxing shots. You just worry about the conditioning. So it's like, all right. But
and one comment to add to that, yeah, lately, see, I'm big on that, Rob, and gosh, I always tell my friends, yo, man, your favorite boxer needs a lot of sweet science training. Like his camp, especially the guys who have their father as a trainer, they need to bring in a seasoned vet who they trust and respect. You can take advice from. No, I'm just saying in general. I'm just generalizing.
Oh, okay.
Right. So they need to bring in someone like you or anyone else who they can trust and will respect.
But it's hard though, bro, because in boxing, strength and conditioning is frowned upon a lot.
Right.
And it's frowned upon because most coaches that are successful trainers, they learn their way. They were effective their way. And they work with their fighters their way. And they got success their way. So when you got a strength coach that comes into the picture who knows about modern technology, knows about the anatomy a lot better, who knows about the muscle imbalances and so what and so forth. And then on top of that, they know boxing courses too. At that becomes one of those things like, who the fuck is this guy? He's trying to take my job. But in reality, you shouldn't have that feeling. It should be like, damn, like this is an asset we added into the camp. We got to do whatever we got to do to keep him. And I'm pretty sure there's strength coaches out there that if they get paid a reasonable amount of money and they're on like salary or whatever the case is, they won't go any fucking where. You know what I'm saying? But in the course of all that, it makes it difficult because, you know, you got a lot of coaches who really don't believe in it. You know what I'm saying? And if it works for them for years, I can't really argue that. I don't really like getting too involved with the ways certain people feel about certain things because it's like it's going to be an opinionated argument versus facts.
Thanks, for sure.
Right.
Rob, I know we held you for like an hour and damn near a half. You know what I mean? But you know, it's always a truth in players meet. You got a little more, you got 4 minutes, or you gotta roll out?
Go ahead.
All right. So Devin Haney is like the number one guy you want to work with. Who is somebody locally that you would want to work with? Like
locally around here?
Yeah.
Ray Savage. Scooter.
Scooter's discipline, man, unmatched. Oh my goodness.
For one fight or two, Danny Garcia.
For sure. I like that. I like them names. I like them names for sure.
Rob, where can I
Hopefully,
find you on social media?
You can find me on Instagram. I am alchemy _ TSW. You'll see my logo pop up, and Facebook is Rob TSW Acosta, and then you got
Okay.
Twitter. I don't even know my Twitter because I'm not really on it. I just go on there just to enjoy on the people comment on everybody else shit.
Twitter's a crazy place, man. I'm not gonna lie.
I don't know how to use it yet, so I'm not, and I've been saying that shit for so fucking long. I don't know.
This is Twitter?
Yeah.
It's just, in college, I was in marketing, right? And my teacher made us all get it. This is back 2008. And I always use the same thesis. It's a billboard. You're a walking billboard. So all you do is walk around and talk about yourself, market yourself. That's all you do.
But it's funny, the thing is just, it's, I don't know, man. I guess maybe because when I first had Instagram, when it was popping, I started off with friends and then resulted into career. Now I just basically, I don't really put a lot of personal things on my social media now. Like I had the one post about my kids and my grandson, and now my granddaughter that's coming. But that's really it. Everything is basically like work related. But I love interacting with people, so it's every day I'm always on my DMs answering somebody's question or whatever the case is, and I just really enjoy it. I don't really do
Congratulations too.
anything else, man.
Congratulations about being a grandpa one more time.
Yeah, man. Yeah, 2 times.
So we're gonna get Rob out of here, man. It's we had him for an hour and a half. You know what I'm saying? It's always good having you on, man. Always, bro. Always good having you on.
Thank you. Happy birthday again.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
We're gonna have to have the resident trainer / strength and conditioning coach. You know what I'm saying? Come back very soon. You know what I mean? Any final words?
Nah, just what I would like to say, before you judge a fighter, do your homework. You know what I'm saying? Don't call a fighter a bum. You never been punched in your mouth, and be okay with it. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody's background is the same. Not everybody's training is the same. But in boxing, real men lose their lives doing this shit. So people should just tread carefully on how they judge other fighters. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, there's nothing personal against other fighters, nothing personal against other teams. I got coaches that don't like me. I got people that can't stand me. But I'm all right with it, because at the end of the day, I'm not going to stop what someone feels about me to stop my success and keep moving forward. You understand what I'm saying? But in reality, you still got to be appreciative of certain people and go from there. So I want everybody to do their homework, and just because if a person loses, don't call them a bum or they washed up. Everybody has a bad night. You know what I'm saying? Before Boots fought Karen, he was, that boogeyman that everybody wanted to talk about. But then he performed with Karen, had a deep performance, and now everybody thinks he's overhyped, which he's not. He had one bad performance. Terrence Crawford had one bad performance. Errol Spence, one bad performance. Pacquiao, one bad performance. It happens. It's what you learn from it and keep it going. You know what I mean? But you got certain people that are fed into the Jake Paul sort of thing, and they judge him very poorly.
Sure. We're gonna get Coach Rob out of here, because I'm gonna try to get him back in within like the next 2 weeks. Are you going to the Shakur fight?
No.
I got the. I'm gonna try my best to be in the building for that.
No. I'm gonna be in New York, but I'm getting a tat. I'm getting my neck touched up, and then I might get the front done. So I don't know if I'm going to. I ain't gonna be going to no fight all in pain, bro. That's not.
I got you.
All right, Charlie.
All right, man.
We're gonna go live in about an hour.
Appreciate you.
Yes, sir. Man, always. I appreciate you, man, for taking your time out and getting with us. we're gonna link up for sure. Again, I should be in Philly sometime soon because it's been a minute since I've been in Philly. It's been like damn near like 8 months since I've been in Philly. So,
well, like I said, if you come in town and you head over to Swift's, you know what I'm saying, and you want to take a look at everything, then by all means we could set that up. You're always welcome to Philly Boxing. Greg, make sure you communicate with Greg. Greg is the guy that will be the one that takes over the gym. You know what I'm saying? So, if you come in town, you want to communicate, then you know how to find me.
No, for sure, most definitely. You know how we do it. In the words of the great philosopher Lil E, I want y'all to breathe air and live life. It's always a treat when players meet. Thank y'all for breaking bread with me, man. And with that, we are out.
At the roots, he let the beats build, bitch, and we never switch. Even if I'm rich, I'll be broke like I'm Mitch. Niggas talking down, but that's headed in the wrong direction. But I knock that shit out like the boxing section. Cause they can't touch what they can't see. All I gotta do is be the same me. All I gotta do is keep it G. Always be the same me.